morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got a new supporter card we need to be looking at. And it is, at least potentially, an extremely good supporter card indeed. And stop me if you've heard this one before. Our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet. Who could possibly have predicted such a thing? Now, it is Opal, the fairy leader, which is kind of cool. We won't get into spoilers for the game here. And according to the lovely Antoine Boulet, what it does is flip 2 coins, or it tells you to flip 2 coins. And for each heads, you search your deck for any card, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. This is another one of those cards that is potentially absolutely over the top, dumb, good, broken if you can flip heads. And that is a big if, incidentally. If you don't flip heads, nothing good happens. If you flip double tails, this is a bad thing. This kind of reminds me in a weird way of Jewel Ball. Now, Jewel Ball was an item card. It was not a supporter card, so you could play as many as you liked during your turn. It was not limited to 1 during your turn like supporter cards are. That is a very important thing to point out. But that was a card that was simultaneously amazing and terrifying. Let you flip 2 coins, and for each head, you searched your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it into your hand. And on the one hand, this was phenomenal Pokemon search. And on the other hand, even though it wasn't that likely, you know, there's a 25% chance of flipping 2 tails, it still happened. 1 in 4 times, you did flip double tails, and that was kind of terrifying. If anyone's wondering about the odds, right, you got a 25% chance of double heads, 2 cards. A 50% chance of 1 heads, 1 tails, 1 card, and a 25% chance of double tails, 0 cards. So half the time you're going to get any card of your choice. A quarter of the time you're going to get any 2 cards of your choice. Those are the good times. And a quarter of the time you are going to get no cards. And that is going to be a very bad thing. Now, there is will here, and technically you can use will to make sure that you flip 1 heads, and then the other one will be a true 50-50 chance. But in order to play will, you've got to use Lieutenant Surge's strategy to allow you to play 2 other supporters, then use will, then play Opal. And I fear that playing Lieutenant Surge and will and Opal just to search 1 card in your deck is, so what I'm looking for here, not an optimal use of resources. All right, that was quite a few words. But the point is, not ideal, ladies and gentlemen. Not ideal by a long shot. And really, I mean, the conclusion here, but we will, obviously we're not finishing the video here, but the conclusion essentially is, how lucky do you feel? There's no really good way to manipulate this. You are flipping randomly. No, for those of you wondering, Glimwood Tangle will not work. Glimwood Tangle lets you reflip attacks. It does not let you reflip supporters. If it did, the Glimwood Tangle Opal combination, there would still be a chance you could flip a double tails. But come on. It's going to be a very rare occurrence. But, again, it doesn't work. And the thing is, we can see how good this is by having a look at Red's Challenge. Now, Red's Challenge was a very similar kind of card we saw. It was a supporter card that let you search for any card in your deck, at the cost of discarding 2 other cards from your hand. It was weirdly exactly computer search as a supporter card. It's kind of weird. And the thing is, that did see play. Now, the best deck that saw play in was Granbull. Remember that Granbull had the attack that did 160, still does actually, it's not quite rotated out yet. Does 160 damage for a single energy if you've got no cards in hand. So the reason Red is so good here is that you can discard 2 cards from your hand while searching any card. So it's not just getting any card, it's also massively increasing the odds of having a 0 card hand. So that's why it was so good in Granbull. And here, you can look at this. I prefer this to Red's Challenge. Now, ask me again on those turns where I flip double tails, see if I still feel the same way. But as it stands at the moment, I do like this more than I like Red's challenge. Because I don't have to discard cards from my hand. And I know some decks I'm going to want to, but a lot of decks I'm not. And there's that chance of getting two. Because that's the thing, right? With Opal, we're all going to be terrified of flipping double tails. And on the turns where we flip double tails, it's gonna suck. But what about the turns we flip double heads? The turns we flip double heads, and we get any two cards we like, are going to absolutely turn things around. Imagine being able to just go and grab that rare candy and a stage 2, and then you're off. Or being able to grab that speed energy at the same time as grabbing that Tapu Koko, for instance. So you got 2 energy and you're drawing a couple of extra cards. Here's the thing that gives me a lot of reservation here, though. Do we really need this? You see, there's been plenty of times in the past where I've said, look, trying to get the supporter you want is really difficult. But we got PokéGear 3.0. Let's look at the top 7 cards of your deck, find a supporter card, put it in your hand. Doesn't guarantee the right supporter, but you know, it's not far off. And I've talked about the whole rare candy stage 2 combination, but a lot of the time Rosa's really good for that. Now, to be fair, Rosa is an energy, a Pokemon, and an item card. Or in fact, any trainer card doesn't have to be an item. If you had a Pokemon KO during your opponent's last turn. But the thing about Rosa is, a lot of these Stage 2 decks, you're gonna have a Pokemon KO'd early doors. It's just going to happen. And if you don't know if it's gonna happen or not, use something like the Wishy-Washy that lets you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 8 new cards, which is then gonna get KO'd, and open up Rosa, which you're probably gonna have because you just got a new hand of 8 cards. So I'm not sure I want to use Opal to get the rare candy stage 2 combination. Of course, the classic one that's been really hard to search for a very long time here is Special Energy. Special Energy has been a very, very difficult card to search. Difficult to the point where Energy Lotto has actually seen a lot of play when it was legal. Let you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, find an energy, put it into your hand, and we would use that primarily to search out Special Energy. And it didn't always work. But that was the beauty. It was the best we had. Guzma and Hala, though. We now have Guzma and Hala. And if you discard 2 cards from your hand when you play it, you search for a Stadium, a Special Energy, and a Pokemon tool. And okay, you've got to discard 2 cards from your hand, but you get that Special Energy while also getting a tool, while also getting a Stadium. And when I looked at cards like Red Challenge, I would go, look, this is your way to reliably get Special Energy. We finally, it might not be perfect, but we finally have a way to reliably search out Special Energy. But we've got Guzma and Hala. And I'm not sure what we're using Opal to search, because we've got really nice options. Now, Guzma and Hala will not get a Pokemon, and I suppose even if you're playing Quick Ball and Great Ball and Evolution Incense, etc., there are still going to be turns that you whiff the Pokemon, so maybe you'll need a Special Energy and you'll need a Pokemon, but then you're getting into the, oh, I need to flip a double heads. Well, if you think double heads is a reliable thing, then you must also think double tails is a reliable thing, which should put you off playing the supporter card entirely. If you just want a Pokemon, play Pokekid. If you just want a Special Energy, play Guzma and Hala. If you just want a Stadium, use Stadium Nav. And yeah, sure, you can flip double tails on Stadium Nav, but you can flip double tails on this. Stadium Nav, you flip 2 coins for each head, you search your deck for a Stadium, put it into your hand. And actually, as much as I look at this at the beginning of the video and go, well, it really depends how lucky you're feeling, I don't know if this is worth it. I love this as a card, and I think there are going to be turns where you absolutely break the matchup wide open using it. But even if you take away the flip, I'm just not sure you're always going to need this. Now, don't get me wrong, right? If this just said search your deck for any 2 cards, it would be over the top broken, and it would be basically a 4 of in every deck, near enough. Maybe not welded X. But you see the point here. The fact that it's flippy, combined with the good searching options we've got at the moment, that's what makes me look at this and go, nah, I'm alright, mate. It's not that I think it's a bad card. I think it's a good card. And I think there are plenty of formats in the past where this would have been amazing. I think if this had come out when Red's Challenge came out, which wasn't that long ago to be fair, I think maybe we could have gone, well, you know what, it's still the best way to get special energy, so let's do this. But now I look at this in the format we're in with the cards we've got and I go, that's a free Wassy card. I don't think it's a bad card. I just think with the options we've got and the flips you have to do, I don't think it's worth it. And that's essentially my conclusion here. I don't think it's worth the flip. And I think any time I'm looking to play Opal, there's probably another card that I could play instead. Although, if you think there are any situations where Opal is just better than any alternative we've got, hey look, there's a comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.